Okay. All right. So, okay, now these are the photographs that I took and these ones that I'm going to use. Okay, so we've already said that this was a nice 2 point perspective. This was also a 2 point perspective, and this one is a 3 point perspective. Okay, this is also a 2 point. You can see those verticals and 3 point. Alright, so the first thing that I want to do is I need to, if I want to work on this grid and I want to take the same photo, I need to know where the camera was, okay, the height of the camera, and this is the horizon line. Okay, so I need to find the horizon line and I need to know where the vanishing points are, okay, on each of these images before I can actually work on them or accurately reproduce these the camera effect. Okay, so, or the lens. So now let's start with this guy on the left. Okay, so I'm going to say, all right, okay, this is going to the right vanishing point. And what I do is I take a line that's, I'm trying to take the most extreme out of the lines that's the furthest apart from each other, okay, to get my vanishing point. So I'm going to use that line and oops, and I'm going to use this line, okay, to start following back into perspective. And then I'm going to use, I'm going to rotate my camera and this one. Okay, so just make sure you actually follow the right. Alright, so if these two, if I extend these two somewhere, they will intersect each other, and I can actually just find the vanishing point like that. If I find the one, then the other one will actually line up as well. So let's do this one. Okay, so I'm going to use my freehand as far as I can go with it, and then we've got Photoshop tools to do that, and you have rulers. Oops, just to see the effect. Okay. All right. So there's a vanishing point. Okay. And because this is a 2 point perspective, I'll call that the left vanishing point. And now if I draw a line parallel to the picture plane, okay, from that point, then this is the height of the camera. Okay, and remember from the first part, the height of the camera, also the line of sight, and all those important terminologies. So now if I take this one and I connect it back somewhere here, there will be another point, and this will be the right vanishing point. Okay. So they're not always on the picture plane or even in the on the paper, but they are there. So this is just for you guys to see. There are ways that we actually want to draw without these elaborate setups. So for the beginning, this is what we do. This is just how to get our brains used to these converging lines and all those things. So let's test this. I'm going to put a point there. I'm going to come back and I'm going to see if this lines up. Okay, and when I actually connected this point and I connected this point and drew a line, you can see it actually lines up nicely. So I know that this grid was set up correctly. Okay, so it's not necessary to do all these construction lines the whole time, but to see this or to test something, it's perfect. All right, so very nice. Everything lines up. So this is in fact the left vanishing point. This is the right vanishing point, and this is where the camera was, the height of the camera. So let's just think about this in side view again. So I had the ground plane, I had this box, and the camera was actually somewhere there, actually a little bit closer perhaps. But this height actually gives me the idea that this camera was just above the these two cubes. And the fact that the verticals are still vertical to the ground plane, remember, important that this camera was then parallel to the ground plane, so it was not tilted down. The 3-point perspective will be tilted. So this is actually the side setup. Okay, and now you can construct on this grid. You can actually even add things on this. Now the grid is yours to use as you will, just the way you want it. So I'm just going to add these horizontal lines just to give me guidance. Okay, and you'll see this one at the back, even this one will line up nicely. Okay, and you can start drawing through now. You can reconstruct this whole box. So I just connect to this point, goes to the right vanishing point, this point will go to the left, and now I can see where this box were at the back. And now if I want to add something, let's say a little piece there, something that's going to extend from out there, then I just use the grid. So this line will go back to that, but the left vanishing point, and this one goes to the right, but I can see, okay, so this box ends there, and now I can extend from there. Alright, so even if I come up, oops, I draw through, this is very important, this draw through method. You will see that they will create a point there, and then I can just connect these two up and they will line up perfectly, and there's the cube reconstructed. Alright, and what was necessary for me to know this, or to confidently do this? I needed to know what was the height of the camera, okay, what type of lens to use. So this is the vanishing points, the convergence, and then I'm able to actually just do whatever I want, as long as I follow the rules of this grid. So there I just went, I'm going to take this corner, connect this up to the right vanishing point. Okay, where's my line? But anyway, this will go to the right and this will go to the left. You just need to, so this one, go to that point, sorry. So there's a point created there, intersection there, and this one there, so I just connect these two, and I actually don't have to go back all the way, because if these two lines are parallel, they will meet up. Alright, so there's the box, 2 boxes constructed. Let's do it for this one. I'm going to use a different color, so you guys can see the difference in the shot as well. Okay, so let's find sets of parallel lines. Okay, so this guy is going to the right. I'm actually just going to do the ones that I need. I'm going to take this bottom one, just give myself a little roadmap before I start, and the top one. Okay, so these two will give me a point, and actually at that point I can just draw a line parallel to the picture plane, and then I've got my horizon line. Okay, so it will probably be easier to find the 2 lines that converge the quickest. Okay, so this convergence is a little bit stronger, so this will actually, and these lines that I need to draw will be a little bit shorter. So even though I've got these, I'm going to use them. I'm actually going to find the vanishing point by using this side. Okay, a little bit easier. So I'm going to extend this line. Okay, and make sure it's a straight line, it's not bent. That will have actually a big effect on your grid. Okay, there's the first one. And you see me tilting I've tilted the pages because I've taught myself to draw on traditional paper, and I just actually use one line. Hey. There you go. This one I'm just going to guess. I just should have drawn it a little bit straight. Anyway, that's the left vanishing point. Okay, we've said this is a 2-point perspective, so the verticals are parallel to the picture plane. So there's my horizon line, the height of the camera. Okay, these guys will actually, I'm just going to extend it. So now you can actually see the difference between this point and the horizon line, and this point and the horizon line, and the different shot that you got. Okay, these are the things that's important to start noticing. Okay, let's get the right vanishing point. So I'm going to take this line. Let's do this. Oops. Okay, there's the right vanishing point. Okay, and this is easy. Just need one line. So now I can connect this point to this point, and it should, in fact, line up. If it doesn't, then perhaps this line was a little bit skewed. So I can take the time to correct this now. So I can see it's just a little out, so perhaps, yes, just needed to go to the right. Okay, now I can see it actually lines up. Let's test it. Yeah. Just want to make sure. Oh, still misses it. So it still needs to go to the right. Let's try there. I'm actually doing this so that you guys can actually see the changes that I have to make to get this to line up, because if I move this, what happens essentially is the guy taking the photo is actually moving around. So let's go there. Okay, this is a bit better. There you go. Let's see if the top lines up. Oops. Let's take this away. Perfect. Alright, so even though this is small increments, it's actually it makes a big difference. So take the time to set up a grid properly. Alright, so now I've reconstructed the grid. I can actually connect these guys. And what I'm actually doing is I'm actually subdividing and putting in construction lines and things like that. So there, just by connecting all the corners, I've found the back there. I'm going to connect this up and up, and there I've got my two cubes. So if I take this photo away now, the structure will hold up. Okay, so let's see this, and there's the cubes. Right, perhaps something that you're a little bit more familiar with is these boxes in perspective that you've been training on. Okay, let's do the same for the 3-point perspective. Okay, so now we know there's going to be a point somewhere down here, and we know that the camera won't be parallel to the ground plane anymore. This will be tilted. And yes, let's take another color, purple, something that you guys can see. Alright, so I'm not going to waste time again. I'm going to use actually tool just now, but let's do this one. So I'm going to extend this line and extend this bottom one. I just need to be careful. Okay. So you can already see that this horizontal line is going to be a little bit way above the others, and that's why I can see more of this top. Okay. this is going to be out of my scene, which is not good for now because we actually need to know where that point is exactly. So what I'm going to do is extend my paper. Nice thing about working digitally. But if you had to actually, if you did it on paper, you can just paste something there, another piece of paper. You're not doomed. So I'm just going to extend these lines. And test one. Okay, so something was off with my freehand lines. So let me quickly do this. Alright, so now I'm going to extend my canvas. I know this is now way up there somewhere. Okay, sorry. Alright, so let's quickly, I'm just going to get a tool here to help me. It's just a line tool, ruler type of thing. Alright, so, okay, let's just find these converging lines. Okay, and where these two lines intersect, there's the vanishing point. Right. So we've got a vanishing point there. I'm just quickly testing this one. So from the vanishing point to this edge, there you go. So now I'm fairly confident that this grid is okay. I just need to find the horizontal line, and this will probably extend well beyond the page again. Alright, and then the right vanishing point. So I just need one of these points or one of these lines. And again, I'm just going to use the line tool, just a little bit easier. And I can actually see it's going to be somewhere way down there. So again, extend my page. This document is actually getting quite big now. Alright. And then extend the horizon line. There you go, right vanishing point. Alright. And left. And horizon line. Okay, so the next thing that we do, let's just test one or two of these ones. Okay, you can see it line up, perfect, and to the back. Oh, I just missed that. And it's good that you see that if you miss something, that the difference between it for now, it's good that your brain sees the amount of effort that you actually have to put in to get these grids right. Alright. It's not that much effort, it just needs concentration. Okay, now I can move freely. Now I'm actually, if I've got these points, I've got the horizontal line, I've got the vanishing points, then I'm settled. Okay. Then it's just design. Okay. So you guys know the rest of the drill. Okay, you can go back and forth, back and forth. Alright, so let's find that third vanishing point. Okay. Real quick. I think I might be able to do this one with the freehand. It's a lot quicker by using a freehand. So test. So this is the third vanishing point, and this is actually where it was. Okay, it meets perfectly. Right. So my freehand skills are actually, it's okay. I can use it. Okay, so I just connected that back there. Alright, and now if I actually extend these lines to the right and to the left, I can reconstruct the box. And now I can start using this. So if I wanted to add another horizontal line somewhere on this grid, or a vertical line, then it has to come from here. Right. And this is the amount of distortion and things that you get. This line is actually in fact a physical parallel line, but this is the grid. Okay. So they converge, the physical parallel line converges to a vanishing point. So even though it looks like this fan out thing, this line and this line, they're equally straight and parallel. This is a cube, remember? It's not a skew cube. So this line and even this line that converges down, it's parallel to each other. Okay, this is just the lens that we use. Like if you think of camera lenses, like you get this fisheye lens, wide angle lens, and all those things, you're actually going to take a photo of a building. Okay, the corners are 90 degrees to each other, perpendicular, parallel. But if you change up the lens, it gives you this effect. Like fisheye lens bends everything. Doesn't mean that the subject matter bends. So it all depends on the lens that you use. Okay, nice to see now is the horizontal line and the height of this. Okay, and the height that I use to take all these pictures. Okay, so they are actually almost the same. This one is a little bit closer to the camera, but you can actually see the difference in the shot. All right. Okay, vanishing points. You can actually see the difference or the ratio between these two as well, or these three. And yes, okay, these are the things that you have to start noticing. All right, so this is our one cube setup, and I quickly want to reverse engineer the grid, so I'm just going to use the tool straight off the back just to save time on the video. So let's go to the right vanishing point first. I'm going to line up that. Okay, and I'm going to take the top one. Oops. Because I zoomed out now. Right, somewhere there. So this is the right vanishing point, and now I've got my horizontal line. Okay, and then let's do the left. Only need that one. Let's test it on this one. Oops, okay, something went wrong. Hey. So I'm going to go back from there. Right, and this is the left vanishing point. Okay, let's test this now. See if you miss it sometimes with a millimeter, don't line it up nicely on that edge. It gives you, whoa. You see. this one. Vanishing point is actually there. Nope. So we've got a vanishing point there. This one's okay. Something is off. Alright, but I'm going to work with this. Not sure what happened there. It might be that the block was just tilted to the other side. It's perhaps possible. But if these two line up, that one misses it by that much, and these to the right line up, then I'm actually just going to go with my gut, yeah. Alright. So I'm going to use this as my left vanishing point, even though there's something wrong there. Okay, so let's do this for this setup as well. I can see quite a lot of the top side of the top, so this is going to be a high horizontal line. So let's go from here. Okay, so there's my so a lot of lines here now, but so this is the right vanishing point of this guy. Okay. Let's test this one as well. Yeah, that lines up nicely. It's good. Alright, so the left vanishing point. There you go. You can hear that I'm actually a little bit, this takes a little bit of concentration. Shouldn't it, actually? It's quite simple. But I'm not working with my normal setup. I think that point there. Okay, so this is the left, and then the vanishing point at the bottom. I think this one was straight. So it will be somewhere on this line, and you can see it's going to be go well beyond the page. So I'm going to again extend my canvas. So let's find this point. All right. Okay, so it seems as if that, yeah, that one missed. It was a little bit dark for me to see there, so ignore that line. This is actually the vanishing point, and this will add up. Yeah. Okay. Third vanishing point. Okay, so that's the basic setup, or let's say the reverse engineer all these grids. These vehicles were parallel, 2-point perspective. And you can do this with any kind of image, landscape, buildings, doesn't matter. It's the same concept. The important thing is to get these elements figured out. Then we can start building on this grid. Okay, so horizontal line, vanishing points, and actually just to know what kind of grid you are working on will help you to find these points easier and quicker. So yes, this was the video. I'm going to actually divide this video again. The next video I will do the duplication method, and I'm going to test it on this one, and then I'm going to actually show you guys how to design and invent on these cubes using these grids. Okay, but I'll keep this video short, and then I'm just going to stop the video right here and then just move on to part 3. Alright, so okay guys, hope this was helpful, and have a nice day. See you in the next video. Alright, okay.